Pathet Lao just means country Lao, means nationalist. But within that group, there was the Communist Party, which were basically backed by the Vietnamese. Bloody Vietnamese were running everything. They're smart people, and they'd defeated the French. They knew how to fight both conventional wars and guerrilla wars. They knew both.
Yeah.
And so anyway, what happened was there was an agreement signed between the left and the right, between the royalist government led by Savannah Pullman. He was the Prime Minister. And the head of the Pathet Lao was a former member of the royal house. He was Prince, the Red Prince. It'll come to me in a minute. All right, so an agreement was formed, and it was written in the Soviet embassy, because there was the Soviet Union there, and there were Soviet experts all over Vientiane at that time, driving around in their sort of cool jeeps and their motorcycles. I love their motorcycles with the sidecars.
Yeah.
They were cool. I mean, just great big things, you know. And but anyway, so the 73 there was the Vientiane Agreement. In fact, September 70 they had, right, and the royalists had to share with the Pathet Lao the area that they had.
Wow.
So that's what happened. So 73, late 73, the little green men walking to Vientiane, the Pathet Lao soldiers, cute little green hats with the red star. Oh, I just love that. And big bulky sort of clothes are too big for them because they're bloody small. They're tiny. Like hobbits. Yeah. They were the hobbits. And big AK-47s and strings of grenades around their waists and that sort of thing. And so they came in, single file. They never walked, I think, on a bitumen road before, many of them. They wouldn't have. So anyway, and then they became what was called the Ai Nong. Now, they didn't have a word for comrade. Ai means older brother, and Nong means younger brother. So if I was talking to a soldier, or his brother, if he talked to me, you didn't sort of talk for the fun of it, you know. I would refer to him as Ai Nong, and I wouldn't do that. That was abolished, because that was regarded as the old royalist religious society. So that went. So that was in 75, December the 2nd, 75, and it had started round about May. Even under the royalist
May of 75.
May 75 it had started. There wasn't an overthrow until December, but between May and December, the situation was moving in that direction, you see. And the Vietnamese approaches. So in fact, they were just cooking from a copybook, you know, from a cookbook. So I was following it, and I was keeping notes and that sort of thing. Kept notes on the exchange rate, price of commodities. Well, the CPI was no longer collected, but you could always keep a record on the price of rice, the price of petrol. That was important. So in 76, the whole city, which was only about 50,000 people, maybe 60. Yeah. Laos is a country where 85% of the people are rural-based. That was how it was then. Yeah. So it was a very stable society. The culture was, there wasn't any bloody Marxists or socialists in that country because everyone owned land. And the land passed through, the villages and the families. There was no private market in real estate, except in the centre of the cities and all that. Gee, you're popular. And so that was how it was in beginning of 75. And as I say, my main worry was that I might be expelled. And I didn't have a visa, which was a bit of a worry. But nevertheless, I managed to get village ID. Bai Yang Yuen Ti Yu, that's what it's called. It still is.
What's it called again?
Bai Yang Yuan TU. And it's a village ID. So you got your photograph. That's what they ask for. If the Ainong stop you and they want to see something, they never did actually. It's weird. Because I was the only white man around.
Yeah.
You know, and riding a bicycle along with, 40,000 other people, and they never stopped me. I don't know why. And so that was how it was. And with the family, the old lady, and she had a retarded daughter, and she was more or less one of the powers. It's the old people that control the villages.
The older generations.
Yeah. They've got the authority. They've got the, what do you call it? The
gumshoe, I guess.
Yes, and the capital too, the money.
Yeah.
So they're really in control. And so what the communists did, first of all, they bring government right close to you. So like every 10 houses has got an official, and he's a village official. And he's got to keep registrations and all that sort of thing. I don't know what they do. And so government was very close. And at times the whole city was wired up to sound. The whole city.
Those loudspeakers.
Yeah.
So they could make their political announcements.
Absolutely. And music. Sometimes I
Patriotic music.
still find myself singing it. Well, not singing it, whistling it.
Are you serious? Yeah.
No, it's God.
And that was years ago. That wasn't yesterday.
It was a long time ago. And, jeez. And, so
Man, you have an amazing story.
Isn't that?
That's an incredible story.
well,
You have to market that story.
that's a real American expression. You got
That's a Canadian expression. I'm a Canadian. I'm not American.
Sorry. I am so sorry. I am sorry. 3 or 4%, right? The US dollar, and of course they can always convert them back into cash, because that's the whole point about the American securities market. It's a very liquid market, and it's a very deep market. Right? So it wouldn't matter if, for example, the Chinese liquidated their holdings of US securities. If they did, what would happen is the central bank in America, the Federal Reserve System, would just simply enter the market and purchase all of those securities and issue currency, which is what they can do legally, because the treasury bills are issued in US dollars, right? They're not issued in rubles or francs or sterling. So in fact, that's why it can continue to run all these deficits. And of course, Trump is going to cut taxes again. I mean, so what's going to happen to the fiscal deficit? It's going to expand massively, and he's putting forward this bullshit argument that he's sacking people in the government, in order to keep the deficit down. Well, if you want to keep the deficit down, all you have to do is not cut taxes. To say what's happening in America is just absolutely outrageous at the moment. It's unprecedented.
Yeah.
He's a clown, he's an idiot.
Absolute
And a
idiot.
crook. He's all of those things. And he's got all these people working for him.
So I finally sold my property on Cape Cod.
Oh, right, okay.